Hello everyone, you are welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's tutorial is on how to read the measuring tape correctly. This is a very crucial part of cutting and sewing because if you read your measuring tape wrongly, then your sewing project will be zero and you will have problems of adjusting clothes here and there, and I don't want that for you all. That is why you need to pay close attention to every details that will be shared in this class. So if you are new to this channel, please subscribe, like and share this video. Thank you. Then let's get right into the main tutorial. Now this is what is called a measuring tape. Some people call it tape measure or tape rule. Anyone you wish to call it is absolutely fine. So I'll be calling it tape measure in this class. So this is what it looks like. It's starting from this metal and it ends at number 60, as you can see. So starting from this, so you can see we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 up to number 60 on this tape measure, as you can see. Now this metal is the starting point on our tape measure. Now this metal right here, this is 0. That is the starting point. That's where we are starting from. So from here to here is 1 inch. From here to here is another 1 inch. From here to here is another 1 inch. So this simply tells us that the difference from one number to the next number on your tape measure is 1 inch. So now when you are moving from this starting point, that is this metal, to any number on your tape measure, let's say we are moving from this metal to this place, so this is called 8 inches. If you are moving from this metal to this number, this is 30 inches, as you can see here. Now let's deal with the small lines that we have on this tape measure. Now on a tape measure we have 8 lines before you can get to a whole number. That is, you can see this is a whole number, which is 1. So that is our starting point. Now we said we have 8 lines, so this is the first number here, this small number here. So this is 1 over 8. This next line is 2 over 8. This next line is 3 over 8. This fourth line is 4 over 8. This fifth line is called 5 over 8. This sixth line is called 6 over 8. This seventh line is called 7 over 8. And this big line that gave us this whole number is 8 over 8. Now from this metal, I said it is 0 over 8. Now 8 over 8 will give us what? 1. Now we want to know how to read from here to here, from here to these small lines that you can see here. So now let's start with the first line, this small line that followed this our number 1. So if you want to read this will give you from here to here is 1 over 8. From here to here is 1 2 over 8. From here to here is 1 3 over 8. From here to here is 1 4 over 8. From here to here is 1 number 5 over 8. From here to here is 1 number 6 over 8. From here to here is 1 number 7 over 8. From here to here is 1 number 8 over 8. And remember, 8 over 8 is what? 1. So 1 plus 1 will give us 2. That is what gave us this 2 that we have right here. So now for more emphasis, I drew the line for more understanding. So this is the big line, which is 0. So I said from here to here is 1 over 8. From here to here is 2 over 8. This third line is 3 over 8. This fourth line is 4 over 8. This fifth line is 5 over 8. This sixth line is 6 over 8. This seventh line is 7 over 8. And the big line is 1. So this starting point is where our metal is, okay? And this is the number that followed the metal on our tape measure. I believe you can see it. So now we can convert these fractions, these are fractions, we can convert them into decimal numbers. So when you are measuring, you can use the fraction and decimals interchangeably. So now 1 over 8 in decimal, you can punch your calculator, it will give you 0.125. So you don't need to write 0 again because we have the 0 here. So 2 over 8 will give us 0.25. So you can write 0.25. 3 over 8 will give us 0.375. Then 4 over 8 will give us 0.5. 5 over 8 will give us 0.625. 6 over 8 will give us 0.75. 7 over 8 will give us 0.875, and 8 over 8 gives us 1. Can you see? That is why we have 1 here. So it means that from any point you are starting to another small line, if you are starting from a whole number to another small line, so that will be from here to here now is 0.125. From here to here, 0.25, and so on till we get to 1 on our tape measure. Now, if you now want to read on your tape measure from 1 to this small number that is next to it, you will simply call it 1.125. From this 1 again to this next number here, you will simply call it 1.25. From this 1 to this small third line on your measuring tape is 1.375. From number 1 to the fourth line on your measuring tape, which is coming down, I believe you can see all these lines that is coming down like this, all this line is 0.5, which is half. 0.5 is what? Half. 4 over 8, if you divide it, 4 here 1, 4 in 8 is 2. That is 1 over 2, which is half. And half in decimal is what? 0.5. So it means that from this 2 to this line here is 2.5. From 3 to this line here is 3.5. From 4 to this line here is 4.5. From 5 to this line here is 5.5, and so on. You can see even from 59 to this line here is what? 59.5. So now let's take 42 as an example. Let's say you measured your client and the measurement stop at this second small line after 42. So that means the measurement you are going to write down is 42 points. Now let's check for the decimal number of the second small line in this place is 2.25. So that means you write 42.25 inches. Okay, now let's take another number. For example, let's go to number 50. Now, if by peradventure you measured your client and the measurement is 50 and the measurement stop at this line here, this is the sixth small line after this 50. Let's count 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now check for the sixth number on this place. So the measurement is what? 0.75. So it means what you are going to be writing down as the measurement of that person is what? 50.75 inches. Now you need to note that you cannot always have whole numbers while taking measurements. So that is why you need to know how to use fractions and decimals correctly, because they are the crucial parts of cutting and sewing, and I've treated that in this class. You can watch this video over and over again and practice. So now let's take the last example. Now let's take for example that I want to measure my round wrist. Now take your tape measure, round the wrist like so. Now where this metal is meeting, wherever the metal is meeting the line on your tape measure, that is what you are going to record. Now my metal, that is, you can see the metal underneath, it is in line with number, this big number, this number here with 0.5. Now it means that the measurement I'll be writing for my wrist, that is the round wrist measurement, will be what? 7.5. I believe you can see it. That is when I measured like this, my metal is in line, stops at this line here when I measured. Can you see? So that is why the measurement of my wrist is what? 7.5 inches. So if let's say I want to measure from here the length. Now let's say I want to measure from here, that is where my metal is starting. Can you see my metal is starting from here, and I want to measure up to my wrist. Can you see? Now you can see that up to my wrist here, let's say I want it to get here, so you can see that I have 9, and where I'm touching is the 6th line on my tape measure. That is where it stops. So that is why you need to know how to use this decimals. So now the 6th line is what? 0.75. So that means the length from here to here is what? 9.75 inches. Okay, so that is that. Practice make perfection. And for more understanding on how to take body measurements, you can check the previous video on how to take accurate body measurements. It is up on our YouTube channel. So remember, I already told you are going to learn from the scratch on this channel, and that is why I'm treating this topic with you all, because it is a crucial part of cutting and sewing, and accuracy matters a lot when using your tape measure. So if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so now. It is absolutely free. Click on the subscribe button right now. Now, when you check the back of your tape measure, this is the front and this is the back. You will notice that there are numbers on the back of your tape measure from 1 up to 150. Can you see? Up to 150. Now, the measurement on this part is in centimeters, while the measurements here, remember I said, is in inches. Now, peradventure you have clients in foreign countries that might love to sew from you, and when you ask them to send their measurements, they might send the measurements to you in centimeters, and you will be wondering that how do you want to convert it to inches. It is very, very simple. So just take the back of your measuring tape, check the number and the corresponding number at the front of your tape. So it is as simple as ABC. So you can see this part is in centimeters while this part is in inches. So thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. This is absolutely free. Like and share this video. I will see you all in the next video tutorial. I remain your ever that's been tutor.